Everybody, we're getting ready to kick off our call meeting because we have applicants for an opening in our Loganville Development Authority, and we have the 3 applicants that applied with us. What will happen tonight is that we have a set of questions that will be asked. We'll listen to the responses. Each of the council members will vote, and then they have until Thursday to finish the voting if they choose to. Is that pretty close to accurate, Danny? Just so they get them to you by Thursday? Yeah.
Thursday by 5.
Thursday by 5, and then we'll be able to announce who is going to be on the Development Authority Thursday at the City Council meeting. Okay? So, with that said, call the meeting to commence, and we will move forth with the questions. I understand that we have Christy Ash here to ask the questions.
Yes, who goes first?
Okay, let's pick numbers.
You want to do introductions first, or?
Yeah. Everybody knows y'all. I don't get to vote.
Look at it. Just pick a name.
Oh, that's okay. It is Christmas time.
Swanson. That's first. So put one
Okay.
on there.
And we have a second winner. Okay, for the first question, it's going to be Catherine Swanson going first, Lee Hicks going second, and I can almost bet who's going third. I was right. Tara. Okay? Okay, you want to do the introductions? Let them introduce themselves. Does the council want to introduce yourselves to them? We're okay with it?
Doesn't matter to me.
Okay, let's start over here on the left, my left.
I'm Linda Dodd.
Brandon Whitfield.
Good evening, I'm Bill Duvall.
Skip Lyles.
I'm Melanie Long.
Ann Hunsinger.
Jay Boland.
Okay, and then we will go right into the introductions for each of you. So I guess, Catherine, you're first. You want to introduce yourself to the... Why don't we come up here and make sure that mic is mic on, Kyle?
Or either let them pass the microphone down.
Yeah, you just passed it.
All right, we got a mic. That'd be a lot better.
Okay.
That's better.
That way you already yelled and they can't hear you.
Okay. My name is Kathy Swanson. I live at 904 Lee Bird Road, Loganville. I've been in Loganville 16 years, and I moved down here from Snellville. I lived in Summit Chase for 18 years, and I moved down here. Basically, I was landlocked, and I wanted more land. And last year, we bought the pond behind our house that faces 81, and I've raised my son here. I'm currently very involved with my granddaughter's life, and I spend a lot of time with her.
Very good. Number 2 is Mr. Lee Hicks.
Hey y'all, good evening. My name's Lee Hicks. I am one of 2 children. I don't have any children myself, but I have one nephew and a nephew on the way. So love spending time with my family. I work for a local business here in downtown Loganville. So I grew up in Loganville, moved to Loganville in '94, moved away for a little bit after I graduated college, and got the opportunity to move back here. So now I'm back in the city limits of Loganville, and just looking to get more involved here.
Very good. And number 3 is Tara Argo.
Hi, I'm Tara Argo, and I live in the Loganville city limits, and I've lived here my whole life. I currently work during the day as an accountant for car dealerships, Loganville Ford and Kerry Paul Honda, and I, as of today, have 4 businesses on Main Street. I just got a 4th building today, so I'm really involved in what's going on downtown in Loganville.
Very good. Very good. Okay, Chrissy?
Okay, so what I'll do is I'll ask the question, and then y'all can just go in the same order to answer that question. If you want, I can repeat it for you when it's your turn as well. The first question is, what made you want to be a member of the Loganville Development Authority?
Your choice.
I am I've been a resident for 16 years. I retired 3 years ago. I was the controller for Ernst Concrete for 31 years, and I want to get involved in the city development and see where it's going and see what kind of a small town feel we can keep and develop new businesses. And I have a lot of free time, and I can devote a lot of hours to whatever needs to be done.
Well, like I mentioned, we moved to Loganville in '94, and I grew up in Loganville. I went to Loganville City Schools. This was actually my cafeteria, and I was standing in this room when 9/11 happened, and so I have deep roots in Loganville. Like I mentioned before, I moved away for a little bit after college for work, and now that I'm back here, I just want to get involved with my community and the community that I call home. I've seen a lot of development over the years. I've seen, like I remember when Publix wasn't even here. And so growing up here and spending as much time as I've spent here and seeing the changes and seeing the change of people and the more citizens that we have, I feel like being on the LDA would allow me to work with my community and my neighbors that, live here, and with the rest of the city council, just to provide the best experience that we could for our citizens and for what everybody's wanting to see out of Loganville.
I think you can hold that.
Okay.
Okay, I really love Loganville, so that's the first reason I want to be on the Loganville Development Authority, but I also have a pretty vested interest in the development of Loganville. And my first business on Main Street is the Loganville Maker Studio, so we see a lot of people come through who have a lot of conversations about what they think we need down there and what they want to see happening and what's going on around. So I didn't really know much about the politics and things in Loganville until I got there, but being there and seeing that a lot of people want a lot of things done kind of makes me want to get involved, because a lot of people are lost on what to do and how they can make a difference. And I think right now a lot of people are kind of circling around to try to make a difference, and I'd like to be a part of that.
Thank you all. The next question that we have is, what experience prepares you for a role on the LDA?
Well, like I said, I retired 3 years ago. I was the controller for Ernst Concrete for 31 years. I set up 9 new concrete plants in 9 different counties that went from purchasing the property to signing leases with the quarries that we were on. That went from applying for new business licenses, zoning permits, taxes. I have a lot of experience in plant maintenances, zoning problems with different plants. I also ran all of the customer appreciation picnics, 1,000+ customers. I ran the company picnics, 500+ employees. I have a lot of experience with, I've been in every courthouse, it seems, in the Atlanta area, tagging and fleet maintenance for over 400+ vehicles. And I'm very detail-oriented, and I get the job done. Whatever I need to do, I get the job done, and if I don't know the answer, I can go out and find it.
So I'll be completely honest with my answer. I don't do the whole politics thing. I don't get involved in, a lot of the hem-haw back and forth. But my experience that what brings me to the LDA mostly is teamwork and playing to the strengths of that team, and working as a team to find the best goal for everyone that's involved. And that comes to y'all, and that comes from our committee, and that comes from the citizens. And playing to those strengths. I also have a background in finance. And I just feel like if you're able to work as a team and play as a team and do what everyone wants, there's a common ground for somebody. So like I said, I feel like I have more of a business, financial background there. The other thing that prepares me for it is the fact that, like I said, I do work in downtown Loganville, so I know the business owners. I live, I play, I spend time with all these people. So knowing those wants and needs of not only the business members but the other city citizens that come to these events, I think would give me a good standpoint of what everyone's looking for.
In my day job, I'm a controller for a car dealership, and if you know anything about the car business, it is a very, very hard business to be in. So you learn how to figure out things, and I think that's what I bring to the table for most anything I'm going to do in my life. Is I've been able to have the experience to just figure things out, and making 100 or 200 employees happy is really, really not an easy thing to do. And obviously the citizens of Loganville sometimes are really divided on things, and I think my experience of trying to find a middle ground for people is what I have to offer the LDA.
Thank you. The next question is, what to you is the most important function of the LDA and why?
So, can I ask a question? Are we supposed to be rotating? That's what I was thinking. Yeah. So,
Maybe go to like Lee next and then Tara next.
Okay. Okay, so we're going to start with you. So again, what to you is the most important function of the LDA and why?
So I feel like the most important function of the LDA is bringing businesses to the city of Loganville, small businesses working with the Small Business Administration, supporting those businesses, again, not to reiterate, but, finding out the needs of those businesses, and then the needs of our citizens as well. But, like I said, just short and sweet, bringing businesses to the city of Loganville for our citizens and for the city's revenue and stuff like that.
I think the most important function also is bringing businesses, but also actually developing the businesses that are there. I think that someone has to be in touch with those businesses and find out what they need and what they're not getting, and help them either grow or expand and do things. And like I said, I have businesses down there, and I've been lucky enough to deal with some people on the LDA who have helped me be able to grow what I already started, and without them, I would still just be tiny. So I think the most important thing we can do is help the businesses that are currently there get what they need to keep growing.
I'm basically on the same page. I believe the most important part of the LDA is to attract new businesses into the community. I think that entails the current 1,100 plus businesses we have in the city of Loganville, keeping those businesses aware of what's going on in the city council, what's going on LDA, what's going on in, we don't have a city plan at this point for development, and keeping them informed of what's going on when it happens, what new businesses are coming in, keeping the businesses, together, creating a atmosphere where all of the businesses can cohesively live with each other and know what's going on. And I think that's the biggest part right now is, since we don't have a downtown plan, the LDA needs to kind of babysit the businesses that we do have and make them aware that we have an LDA that'll help them. A lot of people don't know about the LDA. And so make them aware we do have an LDA, and they can contact the LDA at any time if they need help, if they need, anything that they need.
All right, and the next question, we're going to start with you, Ms. Argo, is what would you like to see happen to Loganville's downtown area in terms of development, and what would you not like to see?
I don't think there's anything I would not like to see over anything other than like a super overgrowth, but what I'd like to see is calculated growth that we can measure and see what's actually working. There's a lot of empty buildings downtown. There's a lot of space that could be renovated and made better, and I think that we start there before we start adding a whole bunch of other stuff. But I think being open-minded to any sort of change is going to be important, and listening to what everyone wants, not just a small section of people.
Ms. Swanson.
I would like to see downtown Loganville stay a small town atmosphere. I think that architecture plays a major role in developing a small town feel. In the past year or two that we brought up, an apartment complex, a new library, people get scared and they think, we're going to see big white glass and metal buildings and concrete and white concrete, and we don't want that. But that's what most of the citizens think is going to happen when you say apartment complex, when you say library. They think that you're going to put this monstrosity on Main Street, and they're going to have to look at it for the rest of their lives. So I think that a lot of it has to do with, I think some strip centers with loft living above them. I think maybe some townhouses without garages facing the street. I definitely don't want to see apartment complexes, because I don't think that any developer is going to come in and say, okay, we'll build you a 20 apartment complex on downtown Main Street. You know, they want big money, and I don't want to see big apartment complexes.
So it's probably unpopular opinion, but I would like to see more businesses downtown. I would like to see us be able to enrich our history and speak to the culture and, you know, the architecture of our downtown, and bring businesses that fit that mold. I think that we could see, I personally would like to see more activities, restaurants, maybe a bar or two, something that would draw citizens to our downtown so that we can share our history and share, you know, our heritage with them, so that everyone can play a part in being downtown. I know for me, one of my favorite activities is the Fall Festival, or, you know, Groovin' on the Green or something like that, because everybody comes out and they have a great time, and it's in our downtown area, and it's great for the business owners and it's great for the citizens. And I would like to see more activities and stuff like that, more of a draw to our downtown area for our citizens, and even for, you know, surrounding people. If you live outside the city, you know, if you want to go have dinner, let's go to downtown Loganville. I think that's really important. Really, the only thing that I don't want to see, you know, to her point, is there is a lot of not unused buildings in the downtown area, and I would just hate to see, you know, those buildings not being used, and, you know, our city not being used to its full potential is really what I don't want to see. You know, there's tons of potential down here. I think that, you know, we need to bring people that fit the mold of Loganville that are going to enrich our city down here.
Okay, and we're going to start this next question with Ms. Swanson. And it is, what relationship should the city council and the LDA have with respect to development and growth in the city? What role should each play?
I think that the LDA should have a close working relationship with the planning and zoning and the city council. I think that the LDA should have the ability to bring in new business, and if there is something that's just a little off about it, they should be able to go to the planning and zoning and say, I have a zoning question. They should be able to go to city council and say, you know, we're looking at this kind of business. What's, you know, what is the feasibility of putting it in this space or that space? I think that the LDA should, as before said, that they should try to attract new business into the city, and be able to say to a potential business, hey, we have a development authority and we know all these people, we can introduce you to these people. If you need help, we can put you in contact with somebody if you are in the same type of business. You know, it's not just downtown Main Street Loganville, it's the city of Loganville, and there's a lot of more space than just downtown.
I think the relationship, obviously, the city council appoints these members of the LDA, but I also feel like they work hand in hand, though they don't report to one another. I feel like the LDA serves as kind of the arm of real estate for the city, and so I think that, you know, they help move along the city's 5-year plan. To her point, you know, we look for guidance from you, but I think that it should be more of a working together relationship rather than a telling what to do relationship.
I pretty much agree with both of them, but I feel like the Loganville Development Authority should focus solely on developing the businesses that are here and bringing new business. And the city council, since they are voted on by the citizens, should make sure that the Development Authority is not letting something happen that the citizens don't want to happen. And I think that the city council's role in it is just making sure they keep a really close eye on what everyone wants, not just what they want, not just what the certain group wants, but a full conversation about what everybody wants, and majority obviously rules.
Thank you. And our next question, we'll start with you, Mr. Hicks, is how many LDA or city council meetings have you attended in the last 24 months? If you answer 0, then why are you wanting to be on the LDA? I did not write these questions.
So again, to be completely honest and frank with you all, I do not attend city council meetings in person, just due to personal scheduling conflicts, whether at work or family. But I watch the city council meetings online. I'm a big fan of TiVo, so I like to pause and fast forward and rewind. And sometimes these meetings can get a little rushed or anything, so I like to rewind and be sure to pay attention. But you know, watching them online, it allows me to focus more on what's happening in the city of Loganville, what we're talking about, and like I said, it really allows me personally more time to digest it. But because why I want to do it, I mean, I think I've spoken to that previously. I want to be more involved in the city that I call home.
I've been to 3 city council meetings and 1 LDA meeting, but full transparency, it was because someone on city council or LDA told me I needed to be at those meetings. I watched them all on YouTube, though.
I've been to every city council meeting in the past 12 months. The previous 12 months to that, it was sporadic, probably 8 out of 12 I was at. I've been to 1 LDA meeting because I did not know that they had their own webpage and they posted their meetings, and I could not find it on the City of Loganville website. I did find it about half an hour before I came here today. It was way back in there, dug in there, but I did find it. So I've been to probably 18 of 24 of the past city council meetings and 1 LDA meeting, which was last week.
Okay, and our final question, we'll start with you, Ms. Argo, is did you vote in the last city election?
Yes.
Yes.
No, I did not live in city limits at the time during the last election.
That is all the questions that we have.
We would like to thank each of the candidates for putting yourselves out here and wanting to help your city grow and grow wisely and smart. And we really appreciate you putting yourself up there. As we talked about before, we will do our best to fairly grade each of your responses and your backgrounds, and we will have our votes in by 5 o'clock Thursday, everyone. And we should be able to announce at the council meeting on Thursday who will be selected for the LDA. I will be also voting, but my vote will not count unless there's a tie. And it happens occasionally. So with that said, thank you all for being here. And any other things you want to mention? Very good. We appreciate you. Thank you. Can we have all 3? Sure. You want to go ahead and give them a work schedule? That comes from the chairman of the LDA. He needs more workers, right? Well, all of you be a credit to our city, and we appreciate you being here. Thank you. And we'll be starting our regular council meeting in